Hello friends, it's Friday and I'm gonna do a Friday reads. I'm also probably just gonna have a little life update and a channel update and yeah, just try to get back into the routine of posting after just my kind of hectic life. Well, busy, it's not really hectic, just busy. So I guess first of all, life update. After only being in my new job for a month, and it's quite it's a little bit more of a technical job than I've been doing previously. So there's a lot to learn and I'm still learning, but essentially I was training somebody. It was a little intense actually. When I got the job they said it takes at least 6 weeks to 3 months to actually learn the job properly. And so after 4 weeks of me being in the job, mostly doing that on my own, I started training someone, which was great because it was a great help to me. It kind of took a load off me as well, especially as they started getting the hang of it. I didn't have to worry about a lot of stuff so much. And then they worked 4 days. It was a short week. They worked 4 days, and then they quit on the Monday. And the Monday of the next week. So that was kind of surprising. Now I'm back to square one, where kind of just on my own, muddling away. But that's okay. It's starting to get a little less hectic on my end. So I'm getting there. So that's taken a lot of my focus, and that's a lot of the reasons I haven't really been able to post. I get up in the morning, I read 20 pages or whatever I can. I come home, I have dinner, spend a little bit of time with my wife, and then I fall asleep somewhere. Hopefully in the bed, but sometimes just on the couch. Yeah, that's pretty much my life. But I have treated myself. My laptop, I think I've been without a my laptop that I had died last year, I think last year. And then I was kind of using these old iMacs. Not iMacs, whatever the Apple laptop is. So I was using a couple of those for a while, and then early this year, I think the charger went or something. But they both stopped working after I'd rejuvenated them. So I think it's the charger. I'm just going to try and find an old iBook. That's it, iBook. I got to find an old iBook charger. Yeah, online or something. I just got to find one on eBay. I just haven't got around to it. But in the meantime, I was looking mainly inspired by Steve Donahue. I was looking into tablets, and so I got myself the kind of entry-level, basic Samsung Galaxy Tab A, I believe it's called. I wish. Oh, there you go. It's quite a little mirror there. It's pretty good actually. It's very basic. If you're used to Apple product, it's much slower and a little bit laggy, but I really don't mind that because once it gets going, it's fine. I mainly bought it to watch YouTube and some like sport and stuff. I may put we have Amazon Prime Video now, for all our sins. We have Netflix and Amazon Prime Video. I think, and we got the trial of Amazon Prime Video. But I think we might be keeping it. So I might put that on there only because, unlike Netflix has very few classic movies. I don't watch a lot of modern movies anymore. I have a real love and penchant for watching classic movies from anywhere from like 1930s to up to about the 60s. But one of my favorite things to watch is anything that's schlocky, especially like 1950s schlock. And Amazon Prime Video has a load of those up, which is amazing, and some real hard to find classic schlock movies like Invasion USA, which is just a fantastically it's a fantastically like anti-communist diatribe that kind of actually probably unplanned, kind of like almost the antidote to communism, to the way they fight communism, is kind of basically everything they're rallying against communism. It's quite funny. It's basically like blind patriotism is the way to fight communism, but you're kind of saying that that's what's bad about communism, like the whole like sameness. Okay, so my alarm just went off during the middle of that Invasion USA talk, but I won't continue because it's probably not that interesting. But if you love schlock, if you love 1950s, if you're kind of like McCarthy, the Red Scare McCarthyism, like whether it's just because they're bad, funny, kind of hypocritical movies, or whether you actually I don't know, whether you support, I don't know, okay, whatever. I'm just obsessed with like obsessed with the 50s and the all that. So I love it. I love watching even the rubbish. I love it all. I just find it very interesting. But yeah, I would definitely recommend watching Invasion USA. It's a very bad movie, but it's very fun to watch. What else have we been getting to? I have been doing some reading actually. So I have got about 230 pages into this. I gave it a little rest, mainly because I ran some errands a couple weeks ago. And it's not the kind of book to throw in a car easily. So I basically picked up just a little paper bag and threw that in the car just because it fits so nicely in the. We have a little slot just under the radio, and so it just fits just nicely in there. When I'm waiting, like generally one of us will only go into the like the grocery store. It's usually my wife, because she's much better at targeting and buying stuff quickly, and I just I sit in the car, hang out with the dog, and read. Just 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever. It's quite a good little slot of time to get a few pages done. And so yeah, so when I did that, I took the fourth installment of the Matt Helm series by Donald Hamilton. I think it's called The Silences. It doesn't really matter, they're all pretty much the same, but they're all very fun, enjoyable reads. And so I started that, and I finished it a couple days later, probably. Really, really great. If you like hard-boiled fiction, but you also like spy fiction, and you kind of like characters who have a lot of self-awareness and like their own little philosophies in life, and like to explain themselves, and yeah, a lot of build-up. There's not a lot of intrigue in the terms of you usually know. So he's basically a government hitman. So you usually know who he's going to kill, and you usually know why he's going to kill them, essentially, or you don't always know why he's going to kill them. But so the suspense and the intrigue comes from him waiting for his moment, because usually a lot of his plans involve him appearing to be not as good as an agent as he actually is. So yeah, you're kind of like waiting for his moment, but sometimes also he does have to figure out, like sometimes something else will come up, some other problem will come up with something, and he has to figure out how to deal with that problem with that person. But anyway, they're very good. They're very easy to read and just very thrilling, very fun too. They can be a bit brutal in some of. I mean, brutal for the 60s, really, not brutal for necessarily nowadays. I mean, there's some 1960s more acceptable language and behavior, I guess, but nothing surprising if you've read Bond. If you read any Bond books, then nothing surprising. Like it's basically in that vein. Probably it's less misogynistic than Bond, though. Bond's very misogynistic, I find. I still read the Bond books, but there are some bits that are really hard to kind of stomach. So yeah, I read that, and continuing on, I don't know, I just decided not to go back to the Greg Iles poetry. I'm really enjoying it. I think I'll probably pick it up again this weekend, but I started to read Vin Packer's The Girl on the Bestseller List, which shows you that the whole girl thing is not a modern phenomenon. It's kind of, that's the worst thing about this book, is that the title is kind of terrible. But it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's essentially the premise is really great. It's essentially she kind of imagined what the reactions of the townspeople would be if somebody wrote like a Peyton Place style book. I mean, it seems very influenced by the Peyton Place phenomena, but wrote a book about the town that they lived in, but also they kind of still lived in the town. I think I'm only about 80 pages away from finishing, maybe even less so, and it's still just everyone kind of learning about everyone's kind of reaction to the book. I feel like it's building up to the novelist being killed, but that might happen nearer to the end, and then so it's basically about everyone's reactions, and what's nice is every chapter starts with a quote from the book that she wrote, and the book's great. The book's called Population 12360, and it's really good. But it'll come. There was a great one. The little quotes are so good. It gives you a real snapshot. It really gives you a snapshot of what the book's kind of like. But this one's quite good. Fernanda's husband was a dull robot, still in love with her, too insensitive to be anything but proud of and anxious over the lisping maverick they had spawned. So yeah, it's kind of just like that little like digs there. There was also one about the local psychoanalyst, who the kind of novelist hates, or just thinks is a bit pretentious or something, because they're a psychoanalyst, not a psychologist. They have a doctorate, not a medical degree. And so, what was that quote? It's something about them being the local Freud, but it wasn't necessarily a mistake for the locals to call him the local fraud. It's so funny. But yeah, that's basically my reading. I've been watching a lot of YouTube and buying way too many books. I was gonna say, I mean, we're getting a lot of recommendations, but I don't think any of the book buying have been recommendations, but which just means I have so much more books to acquire. Just watched Sean the Maniac's Free Reads, and I really want to get The Quarry Wood by Dan Shepherd now. Great, I think 1920s Scots novel. I've read Dan Shepherd's The Loving Mountain and I absolutely loved it. So I really want to get that. I think, is it Canongate or somebody published, I think, a load of her fiction books. I believe 2018. I think they published in 2018. And 2018 was the 90th anniversary of The Quarry Wood, I think. Really nice covers. So I really want to get those. Yeah, I don't know. Can't really get to the library right now, which is a big shame just because of my work schedule. I'm at work when the library's open, and when I'm not at work, the library's closed. So, that's a shame. Other than that, I guess the other couple of things is Steve Donahue. I don't know if y'all watch Steve Donahue or anything. But he did a really good video about the joys and the gifts of YouTube. Just because I don't know, I've kind of seen a few of these, but just people being like, "Why I left YouTube?" and it's a Booktube, and it's like a year after they just stopped making posts or whatever, and it's like a weird explanation to something that people probably don't even care about anymore because it was a year ago that you stopped posting. And I don't know, they're kind of like a little blamey, but in that really I'm not blaming anyone but kind of thing. I don't know, they're really weird videos. But I don't know, there's a lot of people who seem to get caught in a weird Booktube hole, I guess, where it just becomes too much for them, and instead of just being like, this is a little too much for me, I need to take a break, or I just need to stop doing this, or just stop doing it and don't come back. They kind of say that they're not blaming Booktube and then kind of lash out about Booktube a lot, which kind of feels a little icky. Kind of like spoils it for people who are still doing it, who still enjoy it. And I don't know, a lot of people say they made a lot of friends on Booktube, but then they had no other contact with these friends. And so when they stopped making videos, they no longer spoke to those friends. Because it sounds like they not only stopped making videos, they also stopped commenting on other people's videos. And it's like, well, how much are those your friends then if you just totally blanked them? You were there one day and you've not spoken to them for a whole year now. But anyway, regardless of those people, Steve's video about the gifts, about the joys of Booktube, I definitely agree with. It's great. It's great. Every time I watch a video, it feels like I'm just having a chat with a friend, and that's awesome because, especially in these times, especially with my busy work life, I just don't get to see people, and so it's nice that I can at any time, at my convenience, I can just watch some people watch people that I really like and respect talk about books. It's fantastic. I can put off a little comment. I can put up the most inane comments and people still like them. It's very flat. It's very nice of you all. My comments sometimes, especially when I'm tired, are just terrible. I read them back like the next day or a couple hours later. I'm like, what? They didn't need to know that. But anyway, thank you for everyone for putting up with me, and I hope to my replies to your comments are also not quite as inane, but sometimes I think they are. But yeah, I love everyone on here. I love how passionate people are. I love the recommendations, like just someone talking about a book they really enjoyed is like the best recommendation. And you don't need to push a book to recommend to be an amazing recommendation for people. But anyway, yeah, I think that's all. I kind of have kind of want to get a little bit of reading done and stuff, and I have other things to do to get ready for work. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good reading week. Everything goes well. Everyone has like a nice, happy weekend, and hopefully can spend it with their loved ones. And yeah, just appreciate the good in life right now. I know it's a tough time, and I know I get bogged down sometimes in the more harder aspects of life, but yeah, I'm gonna really try and enjoy my weekend, enjoy the very little time I have off, and yeah, just spend it with my wife and my adorable dog, and yeah, just have a really nice, relaxing time. So, until next time, I wish you all well.